Start lying on your back with your feet touching, bringing one hand to your belly and one to your chest, and just starting to breathe nice and deeply. Bringing your legs up overhead and letting your left leg come down to the floor as you pull your right leg towards you. Bringing that leg out to the right hand side, cactusing your left arm, bringing it back through the middle and over to the left side. Bringing your leg back up to the center, both legs are overhead again, crossing your right leg over your left and pulling your hamstring towards you for a nice hamstring stretch. Breathing nice and deeply into the back of your leg. Legs back up overhead. And your right leg comes to the floor. Left leg comes towards your face. So you pull it towards you gently. Bringing the leg out to the left side. As far as you can go. While it feels comfortable, and then back through the middle and across your body to the right hand side. Breathing nice and deeply here. Legs back overhead, and you do the hamstring stretch on the opposite side. Breathing into the back of your leg. Pulling that right leg further towards you. Bringing both legs back overhead and starting to take some rocks up to seated. Take a few rocks here. Try not to let your feet touch the floor when you come to the top. And then holding boat pose. Engaging your belly to keep you nice and strong. Maybe trying to straighten your legs if you can. Breathing here and then crossing your legs to come to a seated position. Just closing down your eyes. Letting your chin drop to your chest, starting to take some circles with your neck. Nice big circles. Loosening up the top of your spine. And then bringing your right hand to your left ear, gently bringing your head over to one side and the opposite side. Coming back to the middle, arms are coming overhead. Right hand to left knee, left hand behind you. Looking over your shoulder. Inhaling to lift those arms overhead again. And twist over to the other side. Arms back overhead. Bringing your right forearm to the mat and stretching overhead. Just feel a nice stretch in your left side body. Breathing into your side. Embracing that stretch and coming up to the middle as you inhale. Left arm comes to the mat. Right arm overhead. Breathing down the right side. Hands to the front of the mat, coming through to all fours. Trying to get your wrists under your shoulders. Just taking some cat-cows here with your breath, so arching your spine as you exhale, inhaling to dip your belly and look up, rounding your back, and then inhaling to look up, exhaling to round your spine, inhaling to look up. Taking a few more of these to your own breath, then opening up your right arm and threading it underneath your body, bringing your right cheek to the mat. Enjoying the twist here. Inhaling to lift the arm back to all fours. Right leg comes up behind you, left arm, and you bring your knee to your elbow. As you inhale, stretch out in both directions. Exhale to bring your knee to your elbow. Inhale to reach. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale to reach out. Exhale, knee to elbow. Trying to keep nice and strong. And then on the last time, bringing your left hand to meet your foot and pushing your foot into your hand, looking over your left shoulder. Lifting and coming back to all fours. Bringing your leg out to the side, taking some circles. Getting into that hip. Coming back down to the mat, opening up your left arm, threading it underneath, bringing your left cheek to the floor. Breathing nice and deeply here. Coming back up, hands to the floor, left leg comes out behind, right arm. And as you exhale, bring your elbow to your knee and push out on your inhale. Stretching and crunching forwards. Taking your foot with your hand and pushing into that hand with your foot to try and get a lift out of the hip. Bringing your hand back down and keeping your leg up, and then just taking circles on this side to really feel the opening up of your hip. Looking towards your belly button, wrapping your shoulders away from your ears, not putting any pressure on your wrists, really grounding through your fingertips and the palms of your hands. Looking forwards and jumping towards your hands, lifting up halfway, and then folding forwards, taking your arms and swinging side to side. Enjoying the stretch in the back of your legs here. Looking up, folding forwards, and then peeling yourself all the way up to standing. Hands to heart center. Down by your side. In mountain pose. Lifting your left leg behind you and rising up for a high lunge. Bending into your front knee and trying not to let it come over your ankle. Twisting over to the right hand side. Bringing that right hand to the back of your left leg. Bringing your left hand to the inside of your right foot, opening up for a twist. Arms back overhead, letting your back foot come out at 45 degrees for warrior one. And then bringing your hands behind your back, interlacing your fingers, opening your chest, and exhaling to slowly come down. Just bringing your shoulder next to your thigh. Inhaling to lift back up, arms overhead, twisting back to a lunge, left hand coming to the floor and opening up for side plank on your left side. Coming back down to a normal plank, lifting one leg, lifting the other leg, really stabilizing your whole body with your core here. Try not to lift your hips too high. And then rippling back through to downward dog. Looking forwards, coming through to plank, and lifting your hips back up to downward dog. Coming forwards to a plank, rippling back up to downward dog. Walking towards your hands, hanging in ragdoll at the front of your mat, taking a shake side to side, looking up for a halfway lift, folding forwards, straightening your legs and opening all the way up to standing. Hands down by your side. Bringing your right leg behind you and rising up for a lunge on this side. Look over your back arm, coming back up to the middle. Right hand comes to the inside of your left leg, looking up to your top arm. Inhaling to bring your arms back overhead, dropping your back foot. Bringing your hands behind your back, opening your chest, looking up, and slowly folding forwards. So you're in humble warrior. Inhaling to lift up your chest, arms overhead, coming back to a lunge. Right hand comes to the floor, left leg comes to meet the right leg, taking Vashisthasana, side plank on this side. Trying to keep a nice straight line from your top fingers to the bottom, coming round to a normal plank, lowering yourself down, your thighs, your belly, your chest to the floor. Hands under your shoulders, lifting up, looking up, coming down, lifting up your chest once more, coming down slowly to the mat. Hands come out in front, so they're on the floor, looking over your right shoulder, looking over your left shoulder. Lifting your hands so you're back in cobra, tucking your toes and lifting your hips to the sky for downward dog. Maybe walking out your feet. Try and stretch the backs of your legs a bit. Lifting your right leg up behind you, trying to keep your shoulders square to the mat, bringing that foot between your hands, letting your back foot drop, opening up for warrior two. Trying to keep a nice bend in your front knee and keeping your hips square to the long side of the mat. Nice strong arms here, reaching forwards, opening up to reverse your warrior. Hand maybe comes behind your back, or keep it down your leg, opening back up to warrior two, and bringing your forearm to your thigh, stretching over for a side angle pose. Straightening that front leg, maybe shortening your stance a little bit, reaching forwards and then coming down for Trikonasana. Nice straight line from your top arm to your bottom, maybe trying to look up at your hand. Feeling the stretch in your left side. Opening up, bending your knee, warrior two, straightening that front leg, twisting your foot so that you are in a wide-legged stance, hands behind your back, slowly coming down. Feeling the stretch in the back of your legs here. Lifting your chest up. Spinning your foot so that you're back in warrior two. And milling your hands down to the floor. Getting your leg to meet the back one and coming down for Vinyasa. Tucking your toes, lifting your hips to the sky for downward dog. Left foot is coming up behind you. Bending that knee, bring it between your hands. Twisting your back foot, rising up for warrior two on this side. Keeping that nice bend in your front knee, reaching forwards and reversing your warrior. Opening back up to warrior two, reaching your forearm to your left thigh, stretching overhead for side angle. Reaching your arms back up, shortening your stance a bit, straightening your leg and coming down for triangle pose on this side. Breathing nice and deeply into your right side and trying to keep that nice straight line of the opened arms. Opening back up for warrior two. Bending your knee, twisting so that both feet are parallel with the short side of the mat, arms overhead, and this time bringing your hands between your legs as you fold forwards for a wide-legged forward fold. Left hand comes to right foot, opening up, looking up at your hand. Right hand coming back to the middle. Right hand comes to left leg, opening up, stretching overhead, looking to the middle, back to the center and slowly peeling yourself all the way back up. Twisting your front foot, opening your arms for warrior two. Windmilling your hands down to the mat, feet come together, you're in a plank, lowering yourself down for chaturanga, inhaling for an upward dog, exhaling to lift your hips for downward dog. Taking a few breaths here, then coming down onto your forearms, trying to play with lifting one leg, lifting the other, see how it feels. And then coming to child's pose, taking an inversion of your choice, or just staying in child's pose. So if you're coming into headstand, using your core to lift those legs up nice and straight overhead. Breathing deeply into your belly and coming down with control, nice and slow. Knees as wide as the mat, bum back to your heels, taking a couple of breaths in child's pose. Stretching your fingertips to the front of the mat. You feel that stretch in your armpits. And then bring your arms over to the left-hand side, stretching your right side. Coming back to the middle and bringing your arms over to the right-hand side. Coming back to the middle. Coming up to all fours, tucking your toes, lifting your knees up slowly to come to downward dog. Looking to your hands and just hopping your feet to your bum. Nice and energizing. Coming between your hands and hanging in forward fold. The front of your mat rising all the way up to standing. Hands coming through heart center to your side. Mountain pose. And at the front of the mat, lifting your right leg up and trying to hold it out in front of you. So using your core here to stabilize that leg. Trying to not twist too much into your hip, bending the knee and bringing it out to the right side. Holding onto your leg if you need to, and then bringing your foot to the inside of your thigh or to the lower part of your leg, just to making sure you're avoiding your knee. Grounding through your left foot, rising your arms up overhead for tree pose. Staring at something, not moving in front of you to keep your balance. Leg comes out behind you and you bend your body forwards into warrior 3. So you're still standing on one leg, arms nice and strong out in front of you, hips parallel to the floor. I'll show you from this angle. Reaching forwards, then letting your back foot come down at 45 degrees. Bringing your hands behind you and folding forward for humble warrior. Lifting yourself back up to warrior 1, framing your front foot and lowering down through a vinyasa. Hips to the sky for downward dog. Looking to your hands, taking those little hops again, and then coming to the front of your mat. Folding forwards over your legs, keeping your knees bent if you need to, rising up to standing. Hands by your side. This time, grounding through your right foot and lifting your left leg out in front of you, keeping the feet engaged so that you can stay stable, bending that knee and gently bringing your leg out to the left-hand side. Foot is coming to the inside of your thigh, so you're in a tree on this side. Finding your balance, keeping everything strong, rising your arms overhead to grow the branches of your tree. Then bringing your leg out behind you as you come into warrior 3 on this side. So flexing your back foot, imagining you're pushing it against the wall that's behind you. Trying to become parallel to the floor with your body, dropping that back foot, rising up. Nice big inhale, coming behind your back as you open up your chest, folding forwards to the inside of your right leg. Inhaling to lift your chest back up, arms come back overhead. You're framing your front foot as your left foot comes to meet your right. Lowering down, inhaling for upward dog, tucking your toes for downward dog. Just pedaling your feet, feeling the stretch in the back of your legs. Lifting your right leg up behind you, bending your knee, taking some circles with that knee, trying to keep your shoulders both in the same place and the same amount of weight in both hands. Legs coming up behind you for three-legged dog, bringing it between your hands, rising up for a low lunge. Framing that front foot, lifting your back leg and just rocking backwards and forwards to lengthen your calf on your right side and feeling the stretch in your hip on your left side when you come forwards. Taking a few more and then bringing your left hand to the inside of your foot, opening up to the right. Both hands come to the inside of your foot. Maybe tucking your toes and lifting your back leg, looking forward for lizard pose. Really feeling the nice deep stretch in your hip flexor. Lifting your leg back up behind you, looking to your belly button, and then the leg is coming behind your right hand. Looking up, making sure your back leg is nice and straight, putting something under your bum if you need to have some support, coming down for sleeping pigeon. Really breathing into your glutes here. Slowly coming up, lifting your back foot, tucking the toes, bringing that back foot up behind you so you're in a three-legged dog, and coming down, trying a three-legged chaturanga, inhaling for upward dog, exhaling for downward dog. Left leg comes up behind, bending the knee, taking some nice big circles with the knee, feeling your hip opening up here. And then bringing the foot through the middle, between your hands, letting your back leg drop, rising up for low lunge on this side. Hands are framing your foot, back leg is lifted, and you're rocking backwards and forwards to feel the stretch in your hip on the right side and in your leg on the left side when you open up. And then coming back down to the floor with your knee. Your right hand is coming to the inside of your leg and you're opening up for a twist on the left side. Hands both come to the inside of your foot, tucking your back toes, lifting your head and your chest for lizard on this side. If it feels nicer, keep your knee on the floor. For me, the stretch is better when my leg is lifted. Leg is coming up behind you, three-legged dog. Looking to your left wrist, knee coming behind the left wrist. Straightening your right leg out behind, opening your chest. Slowly coming down for sleeping pigeon on this side. Again, put something under your left bum cheek, like a blanket or a cushion, if you need it to rest on something. Lifting your chest up. Leg is coming back up behind you, three-legged dog. Looking down, three-legged chaturanga. Rising up for upward dog. Chucking your toes, lifting your hips. Downward dog. And then bringing your knees behind your wrists, coming down to a cross-legged position. Legs out in front, pulling the flesh away from your sit bones. Sitting here in staff pose, so your feet are nice and engaged. Shoulders are relaxing down your back. And spine nice and straight. Drawing your belly button in towards your spine to stabilize your core. Arms are coming overhead, and you're exhaling to fold forwards over your legs. Trying to get your chin towards your shins, not trying to get your forehead towards your knees. Stretching the back of your legs. Breathing into the back of them. And then coming back up. Feet touching each other, sitting in diamond pose. Really stretching your spine up, your neck is long. Using your elbows to push down your legs a bit, and then just leaning forwards, stretching your groin. Find the point where the stretch feels best for you. Don't go too far. Knees coming back together and slowly lowering yourself down to the mat. Reaching the backs of your heels with your fingertips. Getting ready to lift your hips up for a bridge pose. Maybe using your hands to support your lower back if you need to. Otherwise, bringing your hands interlaced, fingers behind you. Imagine you're squeezing something between your thighs so that your knees aren't locking out to the left or right, trying to lift up one leg maybe, the other. Squeezing your bum and then slowly coming down. Taking your legs side to side just to give your hips a nice little stretch. Getting ready to go up again. So really lifting those hips to the sky, not letting your bum sink down. Making sure your knees aren't coming forwards over your ankles. And slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, coming back down to lie on the mat. Hands are coming up behind your ears if you want to take a wheel, otherwise take another bridge. Lifting up. Enjoying this back bend. And then slowly and safely coming down. Letting your legs swish side to side. Legs are coming up, this time for shoulder stand. Supporting your lower back with your hands. Legs are nice and strong, and then slowly bringing them overhead. that feels good for you. Hands coming to the floor. Maybe bringing those knees to the side of your ears for plow pose. Legs coming back up slowly, supporting your back. And then gently coming down all the way to the floor. Hands coming under your bum, getting ready to take a back bend. Fish pose, pointing your toes, squeezing your bum together, opening up your throat that we just closed off in the shoulder stand. Coming back down, bringing your hands out, giving yourself a big hug, knees coming to your chest, rocking side to side, a nice little back massage. Taking the outsides of your feet, bringing your knees towards your armpits, happy baby. Taking any nice variation of this that feels good for you. So maybe straightening one leg, straightening the other leg. And then giving yourself a nice big hug again. Letting yourself come down to the mat, relaxing in Shavasana. Letting your feet hang out to the side, making sure that everything is relaxed and you're just sinking deeply into your mat. Your jaw is nice and relaxed. You're not holding any tension anywhere in your body. Your breathing's coming back to a more regular rhythm. It's not so deep and so fast. And just relaxing here as you absorb all the good stuff you've done for your body.